Everybody on YouTube, it's Rainstorm, and I wanted to talk about the emails that got hacked into in the climate change thing, and it's not good at all. And I think a lot of people were waiting for this because science seems to be used as a new religion. And now we find out that it kind of makes sense, really. If you want to get funding for anything, you have to do certain things that they want you to do. So if you, for instance, my mate does filming. He's a freelance photographer and filmmaker. And recently he's gone out to the Arctic. He's gone out there several times to film Jarvis Cocker, all sorts of people. And the idea is what they're trying to do is promote famous people, the idea of climate change, and then what famous people would do is write about it in their songs and their music and their poetry and stuff like that. And that will then influence the masses. Well, of course, if this climate change turns out to be a complete hoax, it's things like that. It just shows you how the whole lot was a complete hoax. And really, my mate, they're just on a jolly. They went to the Arctic Circle and they just do stupid things like releasing CO2 onto a block of ice and filming it, showing us that it melts the ice. And it's like, well, yeah, well, why did you just go out all the way out in a Russian massive boat that costs lots of money? It's Cape Farewell is the website. I'll put a link to it. It's all very good, but my mate does the film work for it. And like, you know, he has a great time, but it is all just a jolly. So if you want funding to prove that, oh, the climate's changing, straight away, there it is. Go up to the Arctic Circle, have all your money. But if you want scientific funding to show that actually the world, there isn't global warming, it's actually cooling, you're not going to get any funding at all. So we're in the middle of nowhere, and these are some pigs. I thought I'd do a quick vlog. What I might do is I might just shove the camera in the headrest. Hopefully it won't turn off. There we go, everybody. Hope you enjoy the view. I'll go for a little ride around where I live. And hope you enjoy the trip. We're down a little road, and it's a proper road, but well, don't want to get punctured. So my main concern with the climate change thing was the fact that I thought to begin with, yeah, maybe it's been blown out of proportion, maybe the sentences and stuff have been you know, blown out of proportion, and maybe they've been made to look different, but by the looks of it, it is pretty all true. The funniest thing is I live in East Anglia, and the university is near where I am, really. It's not right near where I am, but it's quite close. So I thought that was funny. It's like that the university that I live in, near, the tiny little countryside, is responsible for how the world, you know, responds to climate change. They seem to be using the land for pigs nowadays. Pigs seems to be the thing. Maybe they get more money. When I was younger, it used to be rapeseed. There used to be all the yellow everywhere. It used to look quite pretty, but you don't seem to see that as much. So I guess they don't get as much subsidy, or they don't get as much money for it. So now it's all going to pigs. Lots of pigs. You know, what do people think about this climate change thing? I mean, if this proves that it is like they're saying, like the climate gate, you know, like Watergate was, basically they lied and lied and lied, and then someone had the conscience, because that's what it's all down to. It's, at the end of the day, you have to live with your conscience. It doesn't matter how much money you have, and it doesn't matter how much stuff you have, but you have to live with your conscience until you die. And we're all in it together. So, okay, you might benefit for a little while, but if you take someone else's freedom, it won't be long before your freedom is taken. So they're things you have to think about. And that's a nice house up on the hill. I don't know if you can see it. But really, I'm just outside the town. I don't live in the town. It's not a very big town, but it's a medieval town. And then literally about a mile away from the town, you just go into this. It's just countryside. I'd hate to live in New York City. When I see New York City on the TV, oh, some wildlife. When I see, you got to watch out for the deers. You got to watch out for the partridges and pheasants. The deers are the worst thing because they run across in pairs. So you get one run across and you think that's all right, and then the other one will run across. So you do have to be careful of those things. But yeah, I couldn't live in New York City. That would drive me crazy. Absolutely crazy. I look at it and think, whoa. And what's funny is, where I live is where it all started. You know, a lot of the Magna Carta was thought up in the town that I live in. That's where it started. And now look at it, it's just no one lives here. They've all gone somewhere else. And I do find that interesting how land changes over the time. Back in the day, where I am, these were important places for the Saxons and all sorts of things. But now there's just no one. But we all have these wheelie bins, the recycling bins. So I did think it was funny as well with Alex Jones. He decided to get his champagne out and he started to celebrate, because it is the thing, and a lot of things with what Alex Jones has said is the fact that a lot of the stuff he's been banging on about for a long, long time is now coming true. I mean, that's the daunting thing as well, and it's quite worrying as well that all these things are starting to come true, what they are starting to talk about. Well, there's a flag up here. You don't see British flags flown a lot. In America, they fly them everywhere. Well, here, that's probably the only one I know of. Which is a bit odd. I don't know, we're not very patriotic. In America, you see the flags flying everywhere. Go down here, let's see what's down here. So that's a little village centre, there's the village sign. So yeah, Alex Jones celebrating with the champagne, great. Shame they couldn't get some real champagne, but it is just a nail in the coffin, like I was saying. It's proving a lot of things that he said is coming true. And like, I think it was my mum said to me, if you always tell the truth doesn't change, so it doesn't matter. If you constantly tell the truth, it doesn't matter if people don't believe you or not, because in the end, the truth comes out. And the truth doesn't change, the truth is the truth. So as long as you're truthful within yourself, and you feel deep down, and you feel comfortable with your conscience, that's all fine. It doesn't matter if people ridicule you, or make you look stupid, or any of those sorts of things. Oh, we're going in the middle of nowhere now. It's gonna be good rally roads, look at that. So I reckon we're probably, I don't know, 2 miles away from where I live. I'm going to be fine if anything bad happens. We're going to be fine. It's those people that live in big cities are fucked. I don't know if I talked about this before, but we do have the odd random people that live in the woods that have just given up on society. They don't want anything to do with society anymore, and they just live in the woods. I suppose you could call them like hermits. But they're the people that have just, you know, they've been investment bankers or they've been things like that in the cities, and they've screwed people over, then they've got screwed over themselves, and they just had enough. And then they go and live out in the woods. When we used to take my motorbikes out into the forests, down the lanes and stuff, you'd often come across people and we'd stop and talk to them. So there is people that live in the woods still today,
just